Episode 87, Your Satisfaction Matters. It's my honor to serve you. Seeing the boss so nervous and flustered, Suyimo felt a sense of superiority. She slowed down her expression and said, "Although I won't deliberately speak for anyone, boss, you have indeed been diligent. If you work hard, President Liu will naturally take notice." The boss, sensing an opportunity, smiled widely, repeatedly expressing his gratitude. He wanted to continue impressing. "Thank you, Miss Su. In fact, we still have many excellent items in our store. If you're not in a hurry, take a look, won't you?" Before Suyimo could respond, Liang Biqin sneered, "Our good mood has been ruined, why bother looking?" Understanding the situation, the boss immediately turned to glance at Ningxi and coldly said, "Miss over there, you've been picking for so long. If you're not buying, please leave. Don't delay my business. Can't you see that I have important customers to attend to?" Suyimo, hearing this, leisurely commented, "Boss, she is still a customer. It's not very polite to drive her away like this, don't you think? If someone doesn't know, they might think I can't tolerate others." The boss, now anxious, said, "Miss Su, it's not like that. It has nothing to do with you. The main issue is that we have many low-grade jade items in stock that we're offering at a special price, attracting people like that woman over there to come and buy. Usually, this situation doesn't happen at all. Miss Su, you know, the grade of our store is high. Normally, our customers are making million-dollar purchases. These low-grade jade items will be removed from the shelves in a few days. Otherwise, with so many orders on a regular day and the limited staff, how can we manage to deal with those people? Otherwise, I should take them off the shelves? I guarantee that such a situation won't happen again in the future. What do you think of this solution?" Ningxi touched her chin, watching the boss who spoke fluently like a flowing river. She thought, the people under the Demon King are indeed talented. This level of flattery is truly extraordinary. The boss talked until his mouth was dry. Finally, he saw Suyimo open her mouth and said, "You're the boss, you should make the decision." Hearing Suyimo's tone of approval, the boss breathed a sigh of relief. Then, he turned to Ningxi with a more hostile attitude, "What about you? Did you hear what I just said? We won't sell these cheap, low-grade jade items in our store anymore. If you want to buy, go to another store." Sure enough, Suyimo seemed to be in an even better mood after hearing this. The boss continued to flatter the future mistress. He was enthusiastically attending to her, working hard to impress. Just as he was full of vigor, his slightly squinted eyes suddenly caught sight of three men in suits heading straight towards the store. The boss took a quick look, suddenly shocked, especially when he clearly saw the man with the crew cut leading the group. How did this guy suddenly come here without giving him notice? Could it be a secret visit? No. Perhaps he heard that Suyimo was here, so he came personally? Well, it seemed like everyone got the news. Fortunately, he started flattering early. Now, even if they come again, he could only flatter what's left. Thinking like this, the boss suddenly understood and felt relieved. He quickly squeezed out a grateful smile and hurriedly ran towards the leading man. You. Who would have thought that as soon as he uttered one word, the man leading the group, without even looking at him, went straight towards the direction of the little star who had offended Suyimo. The boss was instantly dumbfounded. "You. What is this?" At that moment, the owner of Baoyu Pavilion had already summoned the security guard, ready to forcibly evict Ningxi if she didn't leave. Originally, today could have been more perfect, but this woman had been causing trouble the whole time. She almost offended his great benefactor, which was like offering a toast only to be met with a slap in the face. Ningxi casually glanced at the small security guard who was not even worth a kick from her. She was about to speak when suddenly, a very polite and courteous voice came from behind. "Miss, are you looking to buy jade?" Ningxi raised her head and looked at the man who spoke. "Yes, I want to buy jade." "Why?" The man nodded slightly, showing respect. "I wonder if I have the honor of serving you?" Ningxi glanced at the man in front of her again. Judging by his tone and cautious attitude, he should be a store clerk. So she said, "It's probably not necessary. Your boss just said that they don't have enough staff, and they won't sell low-grade, cheap jade anymore." Upon hearing this, the man turned slightly and glanced in the direction of the boss. Under the stern gaze of the man, the boss's legs began to tremble, wiping the cold sweat from his forehead. He didn't dare say a word. The security guard, who had hidden to the side, also lowered his presence as much as possible. The man quickly turned back to Ningxi and carefully chose his words before speaking. Although that's the case, there are still other options. While Baoyu Pavilion emphasizes high-end products, it is also very customer-friendly. The reason those jade items were taken off the shelves is because they had flaws. Please forgive us. Wasn't it because the boss wanted to please Suyimo that he deliberately took them off the shelves? But the store clerk's explanation seemed flawless? Ningxi, who was rushing to choose a birthday gift, didn't think much about it. She casually nodded and said, "Oh, in that case, I'll go to another store." The man hurriedly stopped her. "Wait. Miss, what I meant is that besides those flawed items, our store has more suitable goods for you." He signaled to the two young men behind him. Each of the young men carried a black suitcase. After receiving the command, they opened the suitcases and held them with their hands, unfolding them in front of Ningxi. The man gestured for Ningxi to look at the contents of the suitcase and explained, "These are the goods we just urgently replenished. Miss, please have a look and see if there's anything you like." "It's such a coincidence?" Ningxi was a little surprised. "We spare no effort to serve every customer, it is our highest principle." The man answered without any hint of insincerity. Ningxi walked over and took a look. Although she didn't understand much about jade, from an aesthetic point of view, the items looked good. She pondered, "It seems like the ones I saw just now were also good." The man's tense body relaxed a bit with her words, "As long as you're satisfied, Mississippi, may I ask what kind of style you're looking for? For personal use or as a gift? I can give you some advice for reference." Meanwhile, not far away, seeing the man attentively serving Ningxi, Liang Biqin had a gloomy expression. She unhappily said to the boss, "Boss, what's wrong with your store clerk? How can he be so eager to please that kind of person? It's just a small order of a few 100,000. Is it necessary to be so short-sighted? I've never seen anyone so shallow." Other small celebrities nearby also wore expressions of displeasure. One of them remarked, "Boss, aren't you going to manage your store clerk? His professionalism is too poor." "Yeah, I can't believe he's still just a small store clerk at his age. He must have been working for many years, and yet he's still at this level. He's definitely lacking vision and doesn't know how to handle things. Why is he still working in the store?" Listening to Liang Biqin and the other celebrities, the boss's face, filled with fat, turned liver-colored. He could only force a smile and say to them, "Hey, beautiful ladies, don't worry about that side. It won't affect us now. Keep picking and looking, don't let it affect your mood." On the other side, Ningxi, satisfied with the store clerk's attitude, dismissed the idea of going to another store. She replied, "In a while, my grandfather will be celebrating his 70th birthday. I want to choose a jade guanine bracelet to give him." The store clerk immediately skillfully picked out a bracelet from a pile of jade items. "Miss, how about this one? This guanine bracelet is made up of 29 beads with a green glass seed color. All the beads are from the same stone material, with a uniform and complete color." Ningxi took the bracelet chosen by the store clerk, and a gleam of light flashed in her eyes. "I don't really understand what you just said, but I have a good feeling about this one. I've looked at many before, but none made me want to buy them." The store clerk chuckled, "That means this guanine bracelet is destined for you. It's especially rare, and you can rest assured that the quality is guaranteed." Ningxi caressed the bracelet, pondering, "I really like this one, but what is its price? My budget is within 150,000. If it's more than that, I'll look at something else." The store clerk immediately replied, "It's a coincidence, but this bracelet is exactly 150,000. "Exactly 150,000? Ningxi was delighted. The store clerk nodded, "And, because our store is currently running a promotion, we can offer you a 20% discount." Ningxi became even happier upon hearing this. She was initially worried that she might spend all her remaining money on buying jade and not have enough for meals later. With the 20% discount, she could save a bit, solving the problem of her meals. Thinking about this, Ningxi nodded directly and said, "Then, give me this one." The store clerk, whose nervousness had completely dissipated, said, "Sure, let me pack it for you." "Thank you. You're too polite, Mississippi. It's my honor to serve you." The store clerk personally took Ningxi's card, generated an invoice, packed the bracelet, and handed it to her with a bow, saying, "Welcome to come again." The boss of Baoyu Pavilion, who had been staring wide-eyed, didn't utter a word from start to finish. He could only watch in disbelief as Ningxi bought the jade guanine bracelet for less than 150,000. After Ningxi left, Suyimo and the others continued to look at the jade. Liang Biqin, still unhappy even after Ningxi left, vented her anger on the store clerk. Hey, you. What's the matter with you? The boss said those low-grade jade items that lower the grade of Baoyu Pavilion have been taken off the shelves. Who allowed you to act on your own? Upon hearing Liang Biqin's words, the boss of Baoyu Pavilion was scared to the core. He wanted to stop her, but it was too late, she had already spoken. The year-man's gaze swept lightly over Liang Biqin, as if glancing at an inconsequential object. Then, his eyes fell on the boss of Baoyu Pavilion. Unlike the respectful and cautious attitude he had shown to Ningxi earlier, his expression immediately turned sharp, and his entire aura changed. He questioned the boss, all these jade items have been taken off the shelves. How come I didn't know about it? The boss could no longer hold on, rushing to the side of the year-man with a panicked expression. Manager it's not what you think. I didn't mean it this way originally. As soon as the boss finished speaking, Suyimo, Liang Biqin, and the others all had a change in their expressions. Liang Biqin, who had been scolding the year-man just moments ago, now wore a face of shock. Manager Yu. Suyimo's expression also changed slightly. The surname Yu, could this person be? A few small celebrities whispered in hushed tones. How could that be, this store clerk? No, this person is a manager. Which manager? I don't know. Could it be Yu Wanyan, the general manager of Baoyu Pavilion? How is that possible? Upon hearing the name Yu Wanyan, Liang Biqin's face turned pale. At this moment, the boss was desperately explaining, Manager Yu, I didn't mean to take these jade items off the shelves. It's just that we are short-staffed today, and I resorted to this last resort. Short-staffed? The man glanced at the nervous store employees. Seeing that the explanation was inadequate, the boss swallowed hard and approached the man, lowering his voice to remind him, Manager Yu, Miss Su here is a very important customer. We need to be extremely careful in serving her. After saying this, the boss gave a meaningful look to Manager Yu. Upon hearing the boss's words, Liang Biqin and the others displayed an arrogant expression. Humph, so what if he's the general manager? The general manager also needs to consider my sister's face. Suyimo glanced at Liang Biqin, no nonsense. Although she said this, there was no trace of displeasure on her face. Thinking of this, Liang Biqin suddenly felt unrestrained. She loudly shouted towards Manager Yu, Hey, you're that so-called general manager Yu Wanyan, right? Even if you have such a position, it doesn't matter much. The boss is just trying to entertain us and my sister. You must know my sister, right? Yeah, what's the big deal? Upon hearing Liang Biqin and others speak up, the boss suddenly ignited a glimmer of hope and looked towards Suyimo for help. Seeing the pleading expression of the boss, Suyimo took a sip of tea and casually said, The boss is just being kind. Let's forget about this matter. It won't happen again in the future. My sister has spoken. Did you hear that? Manager Yu looked at Suyimo and the others without any change in his expression. Instead, he turned his gaze to the bag Liang Biqin was holding, containing the jade bracelet. He asked, Miss, do you know if you have paid for the jade ornament in your hand? Liang Biqin blurted out without thinking, Pay what? This was a gift from the boss to my sister. Upon hearing this, Manager Yu looked at the boss. His expression became even more gloomy, and his tone became extremely severe, disregarding regulations, privately removing items from the store, ignoring the principles of Baoyuxuan, actually having security expel customers, disregarding professional ethics, casually giving away a 2 million yuan jade bracelet. Feng Maokai, you have a lot of nerve. Who gave you the authority for all this? The century-old reputation of Baoyuxuan was almost ruined by you. Upon hearing Yu Wanyan's tone, Feng Maokai knew he was in big trouble. His legs went weak, and he almost knelt directly on the ground. Yu Wanyan, without giving face even to Suyimo, now had no reliance left. Feng Maokai could only plead desperately, Manager Yu, it's my mistake. I was confused. This is my first time, truly my first time. Spare me, please. Yu Wanyan gave him a cold look, whether it's your first time or not, I will investigate thoroughly. You'll face punishment for this time, and don't bother begging me. I can't guarantee your safety. Go settle your salary with the finance department and leave immediately. If the investigation reveals similar incidents in the future, causing any losses to the store, Baoyu Pavilion will handle it according to the law. Feng Maokai, hearing this, widened his eyes and turned pale. This time, he was truly finished. If the previous incidents were also exposed, Not stopping there, Yuanyan turned to the store clerks who were hiding in the corner, attempting to escape punishment. You are also considered old employees of the store. Your performance this time has disappointed me greatly. After working for so many years, don't you understand the most basic qualities? To me, you're done starting today. Manager Yu, we know we were wrong. Give us another chance. The boss told us to do this. Liang Biqin and the others were originally waiting for the manager to yield. They never expected this result. Hearing the pleas of the store clerks, they all stood there with pale, greenish faces. Especially Suyimo. Yuanyan's words, though directed at the boss, felt like a direct hit to her face with each sentence. After dealing with the boss, Yuanyan eased his emotions a bit and walked over to Suyimo and the others. He didn't address Suyimo as Miss Su, completely ignoring her presence. He spoke politely, apologies for the inconvenience just now. This incident was the fault of our staff. So, I'm sorry, but you probably can't take away this jade bracelet. What? You want to take back a gift? Liang Biqin exclaimed, not content to add, do you know who my cousin is? No matter the identity or status, everyone who comes to our Baoyu Pavilion has only one title, that is, a customer, Yuanyan said indifferently. Of course, if this young lady has difficulties parting with it, as long as she pays the original price, I can, on my own, give a 5% discount as an apology. 5% discount? Liang Biqin wore an expression of disbelief. He gave a discount to that wretched person earlier, and now he's giving a 5% discount to her cousin. What does this mean? At this moment, Suyimo's face had become extremely ugly. Now, whether she wanted the jade bracelet or not, her face had already been lost. In the end, she took a deep breath, took out her bank card, and handed it over coldly. No need for a discount. You're too polite, young lady. This is necessary. Yuanyan handed the bank card to the young man behind him and eventually gave Suyimo a 5% discount. In the end, Suyimo didn't even take the item and left with a grim face. Liang Biqin picked up the jade bracelet, looking flustered, and followed. Cousin, don't be angry. That Yuanyan is just too ignorant of the situation. Consider it as being bitten by a dog. When we have a chance later, we'll make him regret it. Yeah, Yimo, that Yuanyan seems inflexible. It's not worth getting worked up about such a person. This time, we were just unlucky to encounter Yuanyan's surprise inspection.